Derek, measure your hand.
His hand's like twice the size of mine. He's got the biggest hands I've ever seen.
Derek?
Yeah.
I'm going to give you 3 minutes to get these finished and get them up.
Now, if you notice, these dots are nice and big so you can see them. These are a little bit smaller, but you can see the separation on these. Is this a linear graph? No. How do you know it's not linear? Mariah?
It doesn't go in a straight line.
Okay, it does not go in a straight line. They're all over the place. Okay? But does it have a general direction that it's going? Yeah, so those of you still with your graphs at the table, I want you to look. If my hand were 4 inches tall, if my hand were a total of 4 inches tall, how long would you guess that my lower leg would be? 5 inches? 4. Look at your graph. 15. Okay. So 4, 15. You think it'd be up here? Okay. Shh. If it were 4, don't you think it'd be closer down to maybe 13?
Yeah, 12.
Maybe 12? Okay. My hand is 4 inches. We're not talking right now. Okay. So right here, we can see that there is a general direction that the whole thing is going. Is the direction that it's heading, is it positive? Is it negative? Or is there just no relationship at all?
No relationship.
There's
Positive.
No
It's positive.
Positive?
Negative.
Negative?
It's positive.
Positive.
No relationship because that's not linear.
It can't be all of the above. It's either positive, negative, or there's no relationship.
No relationship.
Derek.
I think it's positive because the general dots are going up.
Okay? And they're not just going straight up. They're kind of going like this, right? When we looked at the 4 inches, if we came up, if it was 4 inches, and you guys said it was right about 12, that's exactly where that ends up. If we look at the general direction going in the positive direction. Now, take a second. I want you to draw on your graph. Draw what you think the Vitruvian man. Draw where you think his measurement would be. If his hand was 4 inches, 5 inches, 6 inches, 7 inches. See if you can figure out that line where he would be on that graph. Okay? Let's look at this group right here.
What?
Okay? And Brandon is proud. That's mine!
What happened?
Okay. First of all, is this a line?
It's a Christmas tree.
Okay, yeah, it's part of a Christmas tree. You're in the spirit, Brandon, but we're probably missing the point of a line because a line is straight. Okay?
Yeah, Brandon.
Now let's look at this one. Ladies, gentlemen. Okay, if I'm looking at this line right here, does this represent the dots to the best of the ability? Who's being left out here? Okay, we've got this one and this one who are way off, this one that's off, this one that's pretty close to being on, and this one that's just a little bit off. So here, but we connected the first and the last dot. Do the first and the last dot, do they represent the average Vitruvian man?
No.
No. Okay. Let's look at,
Ours? No.
let's look at this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. You're doing wrong.
Now on this one, okay, on this one we started with our, let's pretend I had a hand that was 4 inches tall. Okay. If this is here, we connect the first dot and the last dot. Does this represent the average Vitruvian man? Yes. Why not? Some people said yes. Yeah, Dale?
Needs to pass through the general center area of all the dots.
Of all, so we want to consider all the dots, not just the first, middle, and last. And while this one hits 3 of them exactly on, we're missing all these guys out here, and this is more the average man. We want to pass through as many, like Dale said, as many of the dots as possible.
Now let me show you the next two. The next two.
Well, oh, you guys are good.
I'm thinking those are pretty dang close. Okay, very, 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 very close. I would maybe go just a little bit lower down here to get these guys. Okay, but I'd say that this suffices for a very, very close line. Now this is a trend line. Can I figure out a general rule for this line? Can I get an equation for this? And what would I have to do in order to figure out the equation of my trend line? Okay, so how do I find the slope? 2 points. Where do I have 2 points? Or too close? So we got at 17. Is that an exact point? No. No, can't use that one.
22 and 80.
Where?
22 and 80.
So at 22, is that an exact point?
There's 5 and 13.
5 and 13 is right here. That looks like a pretty good point. And remember, we're just going to try and get an average because this is a trend line. It's not either on or off or exact, but it'll give us a good idea. Where is my next line going to be?
5 and 2.
5 and 2. Here? 6 and 16. Okay, so I'd say that those are 2 pretty good points to use. So if these are my 2 points that I'm going to use, what is the slope of that line passing through those 2 points? 3 over 1. So my slope is 3 over 1. What's my y-intercept on this one? Okay, let me move it up so we can see. Where did they start? At 0, 0. Y-intercept of 0, 0. So what is my equation?
Y equals 3x plus 0.
Plus 0. Okay, that's pretty accurate. That's really pretty close to the average of what happened. If we look, we have 7.5 and 20. That's pretty close. 7 and 16, maybe just a little bit short. 6.5 and 18. That's pretty close. So this is a good line to tell us that the average man, his palm is going to be about 3 times the height, 1/3, I should say, the height of his total leg.